Good morning, everyone. Welcome to tonight's regular Village Council session. It's July 21st, 2025. I'll call this meeting to order, and if you would join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just take a brief moment of silence. If you do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Fields.
Here.
Trustee Wagner. Here. Trustee Reister. Here. Trustee Cox. Here. Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Here.
President Frisbee.
Here. Thank you all for being here tonight. We have an agenda in front of us. One addition under 6, we're going to add Ms. Liz Radishak into the appearances. Were there any other changes or additions by council or staff? Hearing none.
We have the one.
Well, did you want me to say the rest of?
Well, when we introduce them, yeah. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move as amended.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we have an agenda tonight. So we do have scheduled appearances with Ms. Liz Radishak, our high school biology teacher. And if you wouldn't mind, Wendy was going to introduce you and your team.
So I'm just going to read exactly what I saw on Facebook a few weeks ago. Rising Vicksburg High School freshmen got to conduct some hands-on research at a Vicksburg High School summer science camp. Teachers Liz Radishak and Les Lathman focused the camp on the question, what evidence can we collect to determine if human activities are helping or harming the stream ecosystem? Students examined the water that runs through Clark Park, taking samples and making notes of their findings. When I saw that, I reached out to Mrs. Radishak. She was my son's biology teacher at the high school, and asked if any of her students might be interested in presenting their findings either to the council or to the Parks and Rec Board. And so 2 of her students are here tonight to give us a summary of what their findings were. Caleb Byrne and Melina, is that right? Melina Dickerson. So if you guys would like to go up to the podium.
Thank you for inviting us, Wendy. I really appreciate that. It really helps to fulfill one of the goals that we set out for Summer Science Camp, which is to communicate our findings with the public. When I proposed the Summer Science Camp to our high school principal, other goals that we had in mind for this were to create a sense of community while immersing students in nature, building measurement and observational skills, studying local streams and comparing them physically, chemically, and biologically. And then as we're doing, as you heard Trustee Fields say that she read on Facebook, the students did infographics to communicate their findings, and we gave those infographics to our Vicksburg Community Schools PR department to share via social media. And I'm so pleased that we were invited to this group as well. So as Wendy said, the question was, how can we use scientific evidence to figure out whether human activities are helping or harming stream ecosystems, including the organisms that live there? So I'm going to hand it over to our students to tell you some of their findings, things that they got out of the program and what they learned about human impact on our streams here in Vicksburg.
The Vicksburg Summer Science Camp in 2025 was a great learning experience to find out how really science findings work or whatever in different settings. And we were able to go to different streams, Clark Park and Frederick Linden Trail, and find the difference between the two. Since Clark Park was a stream that wasn't really affected by human activities, we were able to use it as a good control group to compare our stream to their stream. And as we took physical and macroinvertebrate data, we found out that the Clark Park stream here was actually better than, it had a better water quality rating than Clark Park stream. Than Fred McClendon. And it was a great learning experience, and we're happy to conclude that there was a minimal human activity that could harm the stream.
Thank you.
Yeah, as Caleb said, we examined both Fred McClendon Nature Trail. Is it working now?
Yep.
Okay, so we examined Fred McClendon Nature Trail and the Clark Park Stream. I don't think that's what it's called, but
Yeah.
we looked at the microinvertebrate rating, which we got like a sheet from the Michigan Water Corps. We also examined things like pH, conductivity. Our conductivity tester did break, and we had to use a different tester, but we also did things like water clarity, and we mainly had to rely on the water quality rating because most of our results were kind of the same for both streams. But I was really shocked for the Clark Park stream, which has a lot of human activity around it, compared to the Fred McClendon stream. I was really shocked when it had a very good water quality rating, even better than the Fred McClendon stream. And I think it was 4.38, which the other stream only had a lot, I think it was a lot lower than that for water quality rating based on macroinvertebrates. Overall, I really did love the summer science camp because it was a lot more hands-on, and it was a little bit challenging at times, but I found it really fun.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes.
So did any of the trustees have any, or president or manager have any questions for the students or myself about the camp?
What was the other stream?
In Comstock, there's a place called Fred McClendon Nature Trail. And so my original thought was to go to the recreation area here, which also doesn't have much impact, but I couldn't really find a place that we could get into a running water without like an airboat or something, which we didn't have an airboat, so. But beautiful, I'm sure we would have gotten some good water quality ratings there too. So then we went to, since we couldn't get in there, we took the vans up to Millam Park, where there's a stream going through there, which also has a lot of human activity. And after that, a few of the students said, is there any place nicer than this? And because you could get into some pretty mucky areas. And so I thought, well, there's a really nice nature trail up in Comstock, so we use that as our control group. As Caleb said, there's very little human activity there. It's a nature trail. There's no roads. There's no yards. There's no farm fields, so no golf courses like there are around Millam Park. So it was a good control group. Really reinforced the idea of experimentation, and they did a lot of measurement. Melina told you all kinds of things that we measured, and she mentioned that our conductivity meters weren't working well. They broke, and we had a guest speaker from the Kalamazoo River Water Council, and he loaned us conductivity testers that we could use and some other equipment that we could use to try to collect that data again. The conductivity testing can tell you, it's a proxy for salt and fertilizer in the water, since those things dissolve in the water and ionize, and so it can conduct electricity. And I, along with Melina, was pretty surprised that there wasn't any difference in that conductivity, considering there's all kinds of opportunities for fertilizer and things like that to run off. But we also, I called the office here to see if anyone, I had heard about the dam being changed, and if there was anything that we could know about that. And the woman I spoke with, which I didn't write down her name, I think it was Teresa. Could that be, is there a Teresa? Yeah, okay. Teresa said, why don't you call the drain commissioner? So I did, and the drain commissioner told us about the snuff box mussel that's endangered, and lives in this stream. So and they require quite a bit of oxygen to survive, those mussels do, and they live in the sediment. So we didn't collect them because they're deep in the sediment, but that was an interesting finding as well, and another way that it connected the students to the other resources in the community who are interested in the same sort of thing. Mhm. Any questions for the students?
Anyone else, any questions?
I'm just wondering, when you did the testing and so forth, and you said that Clark Park tested quite well, can you tell me, how do you test that, and what are the ratings? How do we know what the ratings are?
So would one of you like to tell them about how we got what the macroinvertebrates are like? What did we do there?
So for macroinvertebrates, we actually had water shoes, and we went in the stream, and we had kick nets and everything. We also had skim nets, and we would dump out all of the sediment we got onto these trays, and we would look for macroinvertebrates. We'd have to get at least over 100 in order to get accurate ratings from the sheet we had. So it was kind of chaotic with a lot of people just like using kick nets and all that, and then just dumping them onto trays. Most of the macroinvertebrates we found were actually on logs, so we started looking for more logs because some streams had a little bit, well, Clark Park, I remember it was very hard to kick up the sediment because there was a lot of rocks, and so we did look for a couple of logs. I forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah, you were talking about how they know the water quality, so after we identified them, then do you remember
yeah.
how we did that?
So we had several different sheets, and depending on the animal's sensitivity to pollution, we could determine how much of that animal we collected, and then from that we could count them all up, and there was actually a special process where we would take the sensitivity rating, and then we would multiply that by the number of animals we got, and then it's a lot of math, but then and then we would, after quite a lot of math and then a lot of counting, then we would look on the sheet to the final number we got. It was 4.38 for Clark Park, and then on the Michigan Water Course sheet we could look and see where that ranked on the scale. So it actually got very good, which I was very surprised
So
by.
that was a good ranking.
Mhm.
Good. Thank you so much.
Wasn't that impressive?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that just makes me think I'm ready to go back to school if there's like kids like this, so thank you. Well, the building isn't ready, that's for sure, so they're doing a lot of good stuff over there at Vicksburg High School, so thank you so much for inviting us here. Did you have any other questions?
That was it. Thank you, Ms. Radishak. I appreciate what you're doing. Thanks to
Yeah.
your team.
Yes.
Not only are you learning ecological biology, you're also public speaking, so well done.
Yes, thank you.
So that takes us to public official time, and I see Ms. Wendy Mazers in the building. Oh, wait, nobody told you had to stay?
Is it something I said? I only have one item tonight. So this is the county minute, okay? So we are having our budget retreat next week, Tuesday, July 29th, from 12 to 5:30 at the Expo Center, and you're all welcome to attend. And then I also, there are more announcements, but I got like 3 pages of them. So I gave Christian the list, but I'm going to email it to each of you, later on tonight or tomorrow. So you have, because it's, Kevin Catlin puts it together, and he's so thorough. So it's a little more extensive list, but this is what's coming up right away. So thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. I appreciate it so much. Now's the time for citizens' comments for the agenda. If there's anyone that'd like to speak to the agenda, now's the time to do it. Seeing none, I just want to make a quick comment. The place to be this week is in Vicksburg. We have the Wednesday night Berg Days is happening, and the Beer and Bratwurst Fest is weekend,
Officially known as the Summerfest,
the Summerfest.
but for
So I'll move on from that. So thank you all for being here tonight and doing what you do. So we have a general consent agenda. Everyone had an opportunity to review it. Any corrections or?
Make a motion to approve.
Support?
We have motion to support. Would you do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Kissinger?
Yes.
Trustee Reister? Yes. Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Fields?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes. So we have an action item in front of us tonight, Zoning Board of Appeals for 130 West Prairie Street, dimensional variance. I'll need a motion to enter into a Zoning Board of Appeals.
Mr. President, I move that we enter into the zoning board of appeals portion.
Support?
Would you do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee Reister?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Fields?
Yes.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Kissinger?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes. So the Zoning Board of Appeals is now open. Mr. Mallory, you have the table.
Yes, sir. The applicant Vickers Lakeside Tavern seeks relief from Chapter 475, Section 116, setbacks from lakes, ponds, streams, and rivers, in order to erect an outdoor covered patio, 3-season porch, 2 feet from the high water mark, where a minimum of 50 feet is required, resulting in a 48-foot difference per Section 475, 116A. The existing site conditions, the site's currently owned by Vickers Lakeside Tavern. The subject parcel is located within the C2 Commercial District. The proposal notes the enclosure of a portion of the existing deck. The applicant does not appear to be expanding the deck footprint. The subject parcels are bordered by other commercial uses to the north, south, and east. The standards for a variance approval in accordance with Section 475-12 of the Village Zoning Ordinance and further supported by the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, PA 110 of 2006, as amended, the board must, prior to acting on a proposed variance, consider and make findings regarding several factors. The board may grant a dimensional, which is a measurement variance, upon a finding that particular difficulties exist. To meet the test of a practical difficulty, the applicant must demonstrate compliance with the following provisions. The observations by staff have been noted via findings with further clarifications that I will speak of in a minute. Number 1, compliance with the standard would unreasonably prevent the landowner from using the property for a permitted use or would render conformity necessarily burdensome. The finding by staff is compliance with the regulations of the zoning ordinance may render conformity burdensome. The deck is currently located adjacent to the water body and was installed prior to the current operations being established. The applicant proposes to only cover a portion of the deck to be able to use it during all seasons. The variance request would not enlarge the footprint of the existing deck, i.e., it would not enlarge the existing deck structure further into the water body. It is our understanding that the applicant seeks to fully utilize assets and amenities, deck seating, that were afforded to the previous owners and operators of this facility. Strict compliance with the ordinance standards would not allow for the applicant to enhance their outdoor seating area and make general improvements that are afforded to other properties within the C2 district. Number 2, the variance will do substantial justice to the applicant as well as other property owners. The finding by staff, it is anticipated that granting the variance request will not cause a negative impact to neighboring properties. The enclosure would face the lake and not interfere with adjacent properties. The property to the north consists of a parking for the restaurant and vacant land. Further, a recent variance was granted to an adjacent property to the west, whom also sought relief from this ordinance provision in order to erect additions to further promote their business growth. Therefore, given that the applicant seeks to erect a covered porch over an existing deck and not expand the deck footprint, it is anticipated that the substantial justice will be provided to the applicant. 3, a lesser variance than requested will not give substantial relief to the applicant and or be consistent with justice to other property owners. Staff finding a lesser variance than requested may not provide substantial relief to the applicant. A lesser variance would impact the proposed design and may become burdensome on the applicant. Therefore, staff notes that the requested dimensional variances may be the minimum necessary to provide relief to the applicant given the property constraints and existing site conditions that were not caused by the applicant or operator. 4, the problem and resulting need for the variance has not been self-created by the applicant or the applicant's predecessors. In review of the request, it is noted that the need for the variance is not fully self-created. The parcel is located along Sunset Lake and the deck was in place prior to Vickers Lakeside Tavern operating. They are seeking a more permanent and appealing solution to closing the deck off during cooler months while keeping the look over the lake and additional seating for their growing business. It's staff's finding and observation that subject to any additional information presented and discussed by the applicant, the board and/or public during the public hearing and incorporated into the record prior to any findings being made, that the Village of Vicksburg Zoning Board of Appeals should consult the application materials and review criteria in order to make the determination pertaining to the request, which we have just reviewed. Following observations have been noted by staff during the review process, which may aid the Zoning Board of Appeals in their decision-making process. 1, the requested variance would not expand the deck structure footprint that currently exists. The proposed structure would be erected within the confines of the deck footprint. 2, it is anticipated that granting the variance request will not impact neighboring properties in a negative way. Properties to the north, east, south, and similar Zone C2 commercial properties, and a similar variance pertaining to setbacks from water body was granted recently for an adjacent property to the west. 3, a lesser variance may not achieve the desired results of a covered patio given the existing structure location. The site appears to be limited on potential options for modifications, given the minimum square footage needed to optimally operate the business venture and the physical constraints of the physical environment. 4, the problem and resulting need for the variance does not appear to be fully self-corrected or created. As noted above, the building is located along Sunset Lake and the deck was in place prior to Vickers Lakeside Tavern operating. The applicant has provided to staff their own memo addressing zoning requirements and their need for the variance request that does meet the minimum expectations set forth by our oversight. It is staff's recommendation that the Zoning Board of Appeals has a motion support and a roll call vote approving the request. The owners of Vickers Lakeside Tavern, both John and Jack Purcell, are here, able to answer questions. Well, first, I believe, next on the agenda is to allow public comment.
Yes, it is. So if there is any citizens who would like to speak to this specific item, now's the time to do so. Hearing none, we have questions for,
Questions, if I need to refer to Jack and John,
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll
right.
be happy to answer questions or
I
speak.
have a question. I just want to say that looking over the, what you're planning to add looks really good. And I was really happy to see that you're putting lots of windows across there. It'll bring a lot more brightness into your business. And I'm pretty excited about it, actually. Looks very nice.
Yeah, just echoing Gail's comments, I think it looks like a great addition to the property. It makes sense, the relief that would be granted under the variance, that you did not create the issue yourself, you inherited it from the previous property, and you're looking to add more value to our downtown and to your own business, so I like the look of it.
is the band still going to be performing in the outdoor area, or is that the intent to still separate them?
Yes, so most of those doors are bifold on the west side of the building. So it will all open up, and the goal was to make it almost like it is now. The thing is, on the southwest side, the roof extends a little further than it does a little to the north. So in order to do those bifold doors, we need to have that roof line equal to one another. So yes, the goal is to have it in the summertime very much like it is right now, as open as possible, with windows that can go up and doors that open. But then it'll give us a great benefit in the winter, but also the edges of the season where it might be a beautiful, unexpected day and we can open right up. Whereas before, when we had the temporary structure, you used to have to kind of go outside the door to the deck, and there was low visibility to see if customers needed something. So yes, although the temporary structure worked fairly well, this will look much more professional and still keep the business as much as we could the same in the summertime, with the bands outside and everything open to hear the band.
I agree that it'll aesthetically will be much nicer than the tarps.
Right. Jim, just real quick for housekeeping, if this variance is approved, is their design then going to go back to the planning commission to get blessed, or?
Yeah, it'll be a site plan review, but they can't proceed with a site plan review until receiving a variance request.
Temporary.
Thank you.
Any further questions? No.
Mr. President, I move to approve as submitted.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
We have a motion and support. We'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Cox.
Yes.
Trustee Fields.
Yes?
Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Motion's approved. Entertain a motion to go back to our regular council meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Do I get to do roll call? You do roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Kissinger.
Yes.
Trustee Cox.
Yes.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Fields.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. So we're back in our regular council meeting.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make a few comments now that we're through that. One, on behalf of staff, to publicly thank both John and Jack. I mean, working with your team on this was pretty seamless. All of Kyle's questions, and Kyle Mucha from McKenna, you guys answered right away. And beyond that, I just want, as many years as you've been in business now, thank you for anything we've ever asked or inquired. You guys are on top of, and very responsive and village minded. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that takes us to our village manager report.
Yes, just two things. Update, it is a week to be in the village. We have quite an event on Wednesday. Berg Days is going. Understand the temperature right now is forecasted for the upper 80s, but we are proceeding forward. We'll have the misters downtown, both the water stations and that. We have two events within Berg Days. One is a Where's Waldo event that has gone on now the past 21 days, including multiple people coming in this building, and in fact in this room, because there is a Waldo located in this room. If people want to attempt to take an opportunity to find that. So a shout out to Kim Mayer at Gilbert and Ivy Bookstore for leading that effort and getting Vicksburg recognized in that program. There'll be people dressed as Waldo again. Christian will have our speaking system, because there'll be some comments made down in Oswalt Park. And then have quite an event with the National Breweriana Convention being in Kalamazoo. But aspect of that Wednesday is bus loads from 50 to 70 people per bus load will begin arriving noontime in Vicksburg for some private tours related to that group, which they had to sign up for. And it has been really good working with Vicksburg Land Company and Chris Moore and his entire team. We went through the buildings today, both the police chief, myself, the building inspector, and it's truly amazing. And I'm sure everyone that participates in those tours, which again, it's private tours because it's related to that convention for members of the convention, but is a very positive thing, as throughout the day, some 500 plus additional people get exposure to Vicksburg from all parts of the country and even internationally. So looking forward to that. Wanted to thank that entire team, working with the village staff through the weekend to make sure we're ready to highlight the village of Vicksburg in a positive way. So.
Thanks, Jim. So that takes us to our committee reports. There's not a lot of updates going on with there, but was there a tree, any movement with trees?
We did have a meeting, and planting is going to be, oh, thank you. I always forget. I've got a loud voice.
I got you.
Thank you. Planting is going to be sometime in August, and so we're looking forward to that, and have a whole list of people who are still interested for possible later fall planting, so.
Nice, all right, thank you. There was no Parks and Rec meeting. The CATS meeting was canceled. There was no Planning Commission meeting. The South County Sewer Water Authority is tomorrow. But there was an update with a fire. I attended the meeting on behalf of Carl last week. I don't know if you want me to give a brief update. Did you want to speak to anything? or-
Yeah, let me real quick. First, thanks to President Frisbee for pinch hitting for me last week. I had a business function I had to attend. Actually, I was told you will attend, so that's kind of how that goes. We are busy, though. We are meeting, in fact, we're meeting tomorrow morning here, the executive committee, for lack of a better term. It's the chair, myself, and the secretary. Going to be meeting with one of the attorneys, going over some stuff. But we are going to be having a work session that we are tentatively planning. I think we're looking to have it here on August 13th, and we'll get more information out. But what it's going to pertain to, we employed a gentleman from Manor, which is the same firm that does our audit for the village. He did a 5-year analysis, which he's already pretty much has it done. I mean, it took him like 2.5 weeks, and he's done with it. But it's going to show what the authority is going to look like cash flow wise after April 1st with just 4 of us instead of 6. So the invitation is going to be, we're going to invite all the entities. So any member of this board that wants to come to that can sit in the audience, so because he's going to give the presentation, so that way you can hear it fresh from him as opposed to me trying to stumble over what he said and everything else. So I'll have more information on that. I do want to let the board know that we did, the fire authority did approve up to $50,000 towards the new roof on Station 2. That was done in our meeting a couple weeks ago, so now you can fill them in on.
Yeah, well, they also approved $10,000 to repair the SCBA, which are the breathing apparatuses. The hoses have seen their lifespan, so 10 grand there. They awarded a website update to a company called Warrior Web Company for just short of $8,000. And then there were some updates by John Giesler, so I thought Wendy may share some of that with us. But the one thing I found pretty amazing was that they've got, Kalamazoo County Airport's got a $14 million runway expenditure has been approved, and new lighting for the south approach. And that was it for the fire authority, yes.
Could I ask Carl, when was the work session, the time?
August 13th, I believe. It's going to be, I think, at 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I will have more information, but I wrote it down. Oh, I did write it down. 5:30.
Okay, thank you.
So, and tentatively to be here, just because we're expecting, hopefully, a good attendance of everybody's boards that want to come, so.
Thanks for doing that. So it takes us to citizens' comments. Now is the time for any citizen that can speak that, on any item they're so inclined to speak to for 3 minutes. And if you would please state your name and address, please.
My name is Laura Jankars. I reside at 3637 Catherine, and that's with a K, in Vicksburg. I've got about 3 things, but I'll talk about them real fast. Are we going to have general trash pickup this year? And it didn't appear in the newsletter we got the other day.
It'll be
In the
the
fall.
week after Labor Day.
Okay,
And that's being finalized with the company, but right, the ball's in their court, but they're gonna confirm with me.
okay, also, golf carts on residential streets. Is that allowed if they're not licensed?
There's different variables, but I could schedule a meeting.
These would be like traditional golf carts,
I'd
like
be
you.
happy to schedule a meeting with you and go over all of
Okay,
that.
sounds good. And also, what was mentioned was the single garbage, having one company, you know, and I don't know if we're just following Portage, because they're doing it. It's taking away our freedom of choice. This could cost us a lot more per quarter. You know, I think the residents need to be involved with this, because in the end, it's going to be us it's going to end up on. Because what's going to happen then is, you know, is the village going to tell us where we have to go grocery shopping, where we have to go get gas? If we start, you know, coming in and say, we're going to have one trash pickup and that's it. And I know there's a lot of talk about roads, you know, from the big trucks coming in. I feel that Catherine Street is just being held together with a little tar in the cracks. And we've had a hole that finally got fixed, that somebody was gonna fall and break an ankle. And like my curbing, because of snow removal, chunks right out of it. And it's probably gonna be us who are gonna have to pay to have it repaired. And that's it. Any questions from the council?
No, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
No one else? Well, then we'll close that item out. We'll go to trustees' time. We'll start with trustee Fields.
We haven't had a Parks and Rec meeting, but we did have another movie night in the park a week and a half ago, I think it was. That was also a success. The next movie night in the park is a week from this Friday, August 1st, and got big plans for that. Also, Parks and Rec is going to be at Berg Days this week and have the booth and hopefully get a lot of people to put some input into the parks master plan. It's what we're working on. And then lastly, I really appreciated us giving the opportunity to Mrs. Radicek and her students to come in. I think that those hands-on things like that, obviously the students were very excited about it and picked up a lot of learning, and I think it was a great experience for them to be able to share that with us as well.
And one of Wendy's comments prompted me, tomorrow night, there is a focus group with the Parks and Rec Master Plan Coordinator via online. So it's only with internal staff and then 4 members of the Planning Commission to input. So those are starting, and we are planning, I believe it's August 13th or August 20th, that team will be in town coordinated with a Berg Days, and we're going to look at an indoor facility to rotate people through every 20 minutes to also have an opportunity for personal input on that master plan. So
I'll make sure to talk to you before Wednesday night so we're able to talk.
we'll put together a flyer.
Sounds good.
Trustee Wagner.
Nothing for me this evening.
Hello. Trustee Reister.
I know
usual.
I would just like to thank the young people for coming tonight and informing us about our water supply and so forth. It's really nice to know that Clark Park is looking in pretty good shape. So thank you very much for coming.
Thanks. Trustee Cox?
It was great to hear from the kids. I agree, that's great. And if they had any kind of hard copy report of their findings, that'd be neat also, just to see if it's available. That'd be really neat. Yeah.
I can follow up with them.
Cool, thank you. Also, just continuing to be excited about what Vickers and other businesses are doing for Vicksburg, and as we continue to grow, and just recognizing that we're here to not just grow economically, but grow our community at large. That is for the sustainability for everybody here who lives in Vicksburg, that calls Vicksburg home, that we're working together as a team. And I'm really excited about that, so thank you.
Thanks. Trustee Kissinger?
Good evening. I did want to ask Jim, I think I asked him last year, are you going to dress up as Waldo on Wednesday? No
Where's
comment.
the hair? He's got to have hair coming out.
The short answer, since I've been accused of talking too much, is no.
In all, in seriousness, my family did participate in that last year and this year, and just as me observing it, it was a lot of people, especially the first week. Tons of people visiting, tons of different establishments. So I think it's a very fun way to kind of engage people all across the village. I mean, you go from literally northeast, south, and west in the village. It kind of touches everywhere. So it's a very fun activity, and I'm glad we've done it 2 years in a row now.
Yeah, exciting. President Pro Tem Keller?
Yeah, you remembered me. That's
I'm
awesome.
looking right at you.
That means nothing. Obviously, thank you for your comments tonight. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the students that came here. They'll be taking speech and drama probably next year, so getting up in front of people won't be so terrifying for them. Reminding everybody, it was mentioned earlier, I'm on the Lions Club, obviously. Our major fundraiser is going to be this year. It's our 50th-ish. We had a couple of years we didn't have one, but it's the Vicksburg Summerfest. It's also called the B&B. Starts Thursday with Kids Night. I know Chief Sanderson and the fire chief are going to have touch trucks down there for the kids. There'll be lots of games and everything. Friday night we'll have bands, cornhole tournament, I hope. And then Saturday, the horseshoe tournament during the day. And then we're having Haramania again Saturday night, which the last 2 years has been a huge success for us. So we're hoping the weather holds out this weekend. And then also letting everybody know that the Lions Club will be back at the Berg Days the next week as the nonprofit being highlighted. So we'll be pretty busy as a club the next couple of weeks. So thank you.
You're right. Thanks. Just to close it up, in their water bill, I believe it was in the water bill this last quarter, there was a survey sent out about the Parks and Rec Master Plan. So I'd encourage anybody that got it, please, if you can't, you can do it online or you can scan it with your phone.
Let's have Christian clarify this, because there was a fumble from the people who sent the water bill out. That's being sent in a different, with
In the
two.
tax bill.
Yeah, it'll be,
Well, that's what it was, a tax bill.
yeah, and there'll be two, both the Parks and Rec survey as well as the branding survey will be on
Yeah.
so it'll be the tax bill and two additional pieces of paper.
Yeah, and I encourage everyone to please take the time. If you want to have a say, this is the way to do it. Thanks again to Kim Meyer and Gilbert and Ivy for bringing back the Where's Waldo. She's been a great asset, as everybody in this village is great volunteerism. I'm really excited and pleased with the amount of progress that the South County Fire Authority group is making. There's great engagement by Waukesha and Brady. I hate to say it, but I saw more positive engagement with them now that they're leaving than the last few years. So I'm really proud of Mr. Keller and what they're doing and the rest of the team there. So thanks for that. You already talked about the Lions Club Summerfest. Look forward to it. And the North American Breweryana Association, the NABA, people being in Wednesday as well. It's going to be a great week in the village, so, and Ms. Jenkaus? Jenkarks. You'll be pleased to know that 3 meetings ago, we approved the budget to have the roads, Catherine, redone. Okay, you're quick at getting it done, but it's in our process. We have to wait till the end of the June to get the July budget, or, the 2025-26 budget approved, and it'll be a chip and seal, yeah. All right, with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for being here tonight.